Very good morning to you and a warm welcome to Maritime and Port News. Maritime and Port News is proudly sponsored by the Ghana Shippers Authority. They provide you with the best in oil shipping solutions. You can contact them at the Shippers House in Accra, and it's also supported by Amen Scientific and Alternative Medical Hospital. Amen, God is our healer. My name is Nanisi Boateng. You can also listen to me live on YouTube now on Omanfm and also on Omanfm in Kumasi. Maritime and Port News proudly sponsored by the Ghana Shippers Authority. Now let's move straight to our stories this morning. The National Petroleum Authority (NPA) has approved the removal of the price stabilization and recovery levers on petrol, diesel and LPG for 2 months. This was announced in a press statement issued by the authority's Corporate Affairs Department yesterday. The statement said the reduction followed advice from the NPA to the Energy Minister for the government's interventions to mitigate the impact of rising prices of petroleum products on the world market on consumers. Prices of crude oil and refined petroleum products have seen sharp increases on the world market due to a rise in demand for oil globally without a corresponding increase in supply, particularly from the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and its allies. Currently, the price stabilization and recovery levers is 16 pesos per litre on petrol, 14 pesos per litre on diesel, and 14 pesos per kilogram on LPG. Speaking to Maritime and Port News, the Public Relations Officer for the NPA, Abdul Kudus Mohammed, said the 2 levers have been removed for 2 months to cushion consumers.
Pricing, you hear me twice every month. So 1st to 15th, the price or then 16th to 20th. Now I said review say changes due na aba. And this is here for the 1st 15th of this month. Prices should be determined how we. And this Parliament omutimi area mujuma no communicate my next pricing window, which will be from 16th of this month, take effect. And this is a year target. And a year anticipation say they should be able to finish their work, communicate back to us before the next pricing window. So if they communicate to us before the end of this first edition, the next price window, everybody would feel the effect of it when they go to the pump. We should price build up all the taxes, the levies are introduced for a specific purpose. And yes, check. So if you look at this levy that has actually been zeroed, and omudi subsidized premix for the outboard motors that are used for fishing and those things. And then the fuel that is used in our industries, government finds a way of cushioning them so that when the fishermen go to the fishes that they bring to you and I, we are able to buy it. So government is able to subsidize the fuel that they use. Same way in the industry too, government use it to subsidize. Right now, we can commend and thank government for that generosity. At least you and I are all consumers of the product. When the price goes down, it affects me. When the price goes up, it affects me. So we would thank the government for what has happened.
And that was the Public Relations Officer of the NPA, Abdul Kudus Mohammed. Now let's move to some other stories. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, GSA, Ms. Benonita Bismarck, says engagements are ongoing among stakeholders to review the entire processes of administration and handling of uncleared cargoes at the country's port. According to her, reports on uncleared cargo is worrying and urgent steps are needed to address it. Speaking at the 4th Ghana Shippers Awards, which was held recently in Accra, Ms. Benonita Bismarck said uncleared cargo list administration and its management have been the bane of the shipping industry, and at a time container cargo shortage has pushed freight costs up globally. efforts to deal with the menace needs to be stepped up. According to her, through the advocacy of the authority, the Ministry of Transport has constituted a committee made up of key industry stakeholders to review the entire process of administration and handling of uncleared cargoes at our port, and to also develop standard operating procedures for uncleared cargoes administrations. Now, it is the hope of players in the sector that the implementation of the recommendations of the committee would bring some relief and sanity into the administration of UCL at the country's port. If you just join us, this is Maritime and Port News. The Federation of African Engineering Organization has pledged its support towards the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area after agreement to help boost free trade across the continent. They said the core aim of AFTA, which among others is seeking to create opportunities for African countries to bring 30 million people out of extreme poverty and to raise the income of 68 million who live on less than $5.50 per day, was laudable and needed the support of all. Mrs. Carlin Buichidat, the president of the FAEO, speaking at the end of the 7th edition of the African Engineering Week and 5th African Engineering Conference held in Accra, said the meeting resolved to institutionalize its relationship with AFTA, African Union, and government of all African countries. The president noted that the group had resolved to promote ethical training in curriculum from engineering education, mentor more students in second cycle institution to pursue engineering through aggressive outreach activities, and convince government of member states to increase funding towards research in engineering. The board chair of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, GEA, Sylvester Tete, has backed calls for the transfer of administration of Tema Oil Refinery TOR. The state-owned refinery, which was once a formidable crude oil refining entity, has over the years faced a number of operational and managerial setbacks. Making his submission on the recent missing fuel saga at TOR, the GEA board chair said he is baffled. The management affairs of TOR was still being run as a solely state-owned company. Now, he explained that the move of transferring TOR's administration to strategic partners will critically help revamp the crude oil refining company, which has been bedeviled with a lot of challenges. On that note, we'll wrap up this morning's edition of Maritime and Port News. Maritime and Port News is proudly sponsored by the Ghana Shippers Authority. They provide you with the best in oil shipping solutions. You can contact them at the Shippers House in Accra. My name is Nanisi Boateng, my producers, Kwekwa Bwaji and Ejando. Have a pleasant day.
Go. Wake up to a fresh morning. National Agenda, your number one morning show.
Two piano passana on in a
exactly.
I see.
And my also activate you say wait if you know say this time nipa we hear exercises no me and then it is a wow for garden now wow be decided say obey it keeps you moving here and there and it's very good. It is started would you have a you would see so our just as